Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel aitech1.com. My name is Sumit and today we will diving into a powerful feature in Salesforce Lightning Flows, and the topic for today video is how do we create record orchestration flow in Salesforce flows. So if you are looking to automate the complex business process with precision and efficiency, this is the tool for you. So stay tuned as we break it all down. And before we proceed with today's session, don't forget to hit the like button if you find this video helpful and turn off the notification bell so you never miss an update from us. So let's try to understand what is a record orchestration flow. So the record orchestration flow, it refers to an advanced automation feature that allows administrators and developers to manage the complex business processes by coordinating multiple flows and actions. You might have worked on Salesforce Lightning flows. You have worked on record triggered flows also. We have worked on different type of flows in Salesforce. But this is a record orchestration flow, which helps us to automate and manage multi-steps business process. Think of it as a conductor of an orchestra, ensuring every process runs in perfect harmony across your Salesforce org. So basically, it helps to orchestrate the creation, update, or deletion of records across objects in a seamless and efficient manner. I'll give you an example for that. Let's suppose I'm into and basically I'm into sales business, and a customer has requested for a sale. A customer has inquired about a product. So the very first step is I will go through the requirement and then I will forward that requirement to the support to the team, to the sales team. Now, what the sales team will do? Sales team will cross check the quantities and the price what the customer is looking for. And if everything goes well, then in the next further step, they will generate the invoice and then they will share the invoice directly with the customer. So in short, we'll be working on multiple steps, and not only this, we can assign the every individual steps or every particular functionality to a specific user within a flow. Usually, when we work on a record triggered flow in Salesforce, or when we used to create other flows in Salesforce, only one particular person will be involved in that. But in the record orchestration flow, we can involve multiple users, and for on every step or on individual steps we can involve the users as per their functionality, as per their use. So what are the key features of record orchestration flow? So basically, record orchestration flows, it's a multi-step automation. When we say multi-step automation, so multi-step automation means it allows execution of several steps, including record lookups, updates, creations, or deletion in a structured sequence. Second is reusability. The flow designed for record orchestrations can be modular or reusable across various parts of the system. Cross-object relationship, it enables handling data operations that span multiple related objects in Salesforce. Conditional logic, it supports decision-making process using if and else conditions to branch the logic based on the record data. And there's an error handling functionality also, built-in fault tolerance mechanism to handle errors during process execution. Now, what could be the use case for these for the record orchestration flow? Now, in what all are the common use cases for the record orchestration flow? We can use this record orchestration flow to automate lead to opportunity conversion process. We can use a record orchestration flow to manage the complex approval workflow that span multiple departments. The same example which I gave you, we need to take permissions and after that the process begins. It can also help in synchronizing the data between custom object or the external system. It can also use in handling cascading updates, such as updating child records when a parent record keeps changing. So there are a lot of scenarios, lot of business requirements of record orchestration flow. So let's take an example. And now let me create a simple record orchestration flow. And let me explain you with the help of an example, how do we use a record orchestration flow, or how do we create a record orchestration flow in Salesforce. So let me switch back to my Salesforce org, and here is my Salesforce org. And in this, what I'm going to do, I will be going to create a simple flow in record orchestration. And the business scenario will be like this. Every time I create a new account, it will automatically send a request to another user to generate the related contact for that. And as you can see, this is an account object. And as soon as I create a new account here, it will automatically send a request to, or it will, the another user will, whenever another user will get an instructions to uh, create a new related contact. So for better understanding, what I have done here, I have logged in as one more user. So as you can see, we have two browser. I have logged in into two browser. In this one, I logged in as Sumit. As you can see, this is my name. I logged in as Sumit Goyal. And in the second one, I logged in as Adit. So as you can see in this one, I logged in as Adit. So this black browser, here I logged in as Adit. And this one, I logged in as Sumit. So my role is an admin role, and that user is just a simple recruiter. He's not an administrator. So what I'm going to do, I will be going to create a record triggered flow on account object, so that that flow get executed whenever we create a new account. But before that, before we start designing a record orchestration flow, I would like to create one screen flow in order to create a new contact. So let's quickly do that. I'm going to create a flow. Let's begin this process. Let's begin this tutorial. So I click on flows and click on new flow. So the very first flow which I will be going to create here is, that will be a screen flow. So the very first I will be going to create a screen flow. So I click on start from scratch, next, and here I select screen flow, click on create, and we will be going to create a new screen flow in order to create a new contact related to an account. So I click here, click on screen, and let's suppose I label this as new contact screen. I'm going to make some customizations into that. Like I remove the header, and even in the footer also, I want only the save button. So I just hide this pause and one button, and instead of the finish one, I just save record. So I quickly add a label one, add new contact. Now I just want to get input first name and last name. So I set the label as first name, and first name, and set is required. And this also I set as required. So we have first name and last name. Click on done. Now, the thing is, when we create an account, when we create a contact, so this contact will not be related to an account. So therefore, we would like to relate this contact to an account. And in order to do this, I'm going to create one resource here. And that resource will be a variable. And I label this as account ID. Data type will be text, and make sure that you always check this option. The purpose of checking this option is because we will be going to pass this account ID from the another flow. So basically in record of orchestration flow, while we're setting up a record orchestration flow, we will be going to trigger this flow on a particular step. And from there, we'll be going to pass the account ID to this particular flow, this new contact flow. And based on that account ID, this particular contact will be associated to that account. So therefore, I just check this box, which is called available for our input. That means this particular field will be ready to get an input from outside. So I click on done. And now it's time to create this. So I just write here and data element block that is called create record. And I label this as create new contact. And manually, I want to add a record to contact object. And what are the values? First is last name. Second is first name. And the most important, the related field that is called account ID. So from where we get this last name and first name? So this last name and first name we will be getting from the screen component. So from new contact screen, we get this is last name, sorry. So new contact screen last name and new contact screen first name. And for account ID, from where we get this account ID? This account ID we will be getting from the variable account ID. That's all we need to do here. And if we want to display a confirmation message, we can do that. Otherwise, I leave it as it is and save this flow. So I'm going to save this flow, label this as new contact screen flow, and don't forget to activate this, because if you don't activate this, then we'll not be able to access this flow in a record orchestration flow. So I'll just activate this flow. I leave this screen as it is, and now it's time to create a record orchestration flow where we'll be going to add the multiple steps. So now I will show you how do we create a record orchestration flow, add multiple steps, and then how do we add this screen component flow in our record orchestration flow. So I click on start from scratch, next, and this time I select record orchestration, create this. Now this looks little different because in this case, record orchestration, first of all, we have to specify the object, on which object we want to, which object record will be going to trigger the flow, the account object. So I select an account object. And when do we want to trigger this? Whenever a record will be created. Any entry condition? No entry condition. I just wanted to trigger this flow every time whenever we create a new account. Now it's time to create steps. So this time when I click on plus, you can see only two options will be coming up here, stage and decision. So stage is basically is to check the stage one, and the decision is to check the decision block. Now, how can we use this decision block? In order to understand this better, what I'm going to do, I will be going to create a new field on account object. So right now you can see when we click on when I click on new button in account object, we can create a new account. It will directly create a new account, but I just want to put a checkbox over here. And when users click on that checkbox, then only it will initiate or it will begin the step to create a new contact. So therefore, I quickly get back to Object Manager, click on Account, and create a new field. So I click on New Field, and I'm going to create a new field here. And that field, I just check this, I just set the data type as a checkbox, and the label as create new contact. So when user check this checkbox, then only it will create a new, then only it will begin the process to create a new contact, otherwise no. So this field will be placed. Now let's check it out. I'll get back to flow. Let me refresh this flow. Okay, let me save this flow first. I'll just say account orchestration flow. Let me save this, or let me reload this. Let me save this. It's saved. Let me reload this. Why I'm reloading? So that I'll get the fields in order to take a decision, because the very first is I will be going to create a decision block. So the first thing we are going to do here is, because as you can see the record will be created, so I'm going to create a decision block And I just wanted to check that if the checkbox will be checked or not. So check the status of checkbox. And here I just set the label as checkbox checked or not, or let's say create contact checkbox checked. So how do I check this? I just click here and I'm going to check it that the if the triggering account create new contact equals to true. If this is equals to true, then only it will begin that process. It will begin the stage, otherwise not. And the default outcome, checkbox, not checked. So we have two outcomes here. We have only one condition actually. There would be, I mean, I'm testing only one condition. And based on the condition, we'll be going to run it. Now, a new feature has been incorporated into the flow recently in the latest update. And what's that? That it gives us the warning also. If any issue will be in the flow, or if there is any warning while setting up a flow, we can get it. So you can see I'm getting an error here. You can't activate this flow until you resolve an error. The flow can't run because nothing is connected. Let me save this and we'll see whether this error gets resolved or not. So, and we have the warning also. So now you can see there will be no error because there will be starting element and the warning is consumption based product. So it's just a warning. So we can ignore the warning, right? So as you can see here, we have one decision block. And if now the requirement is that if the user check the checkbox, then only I want to initiate the stage. So I click here and this time I'm going to create a stage. I click on stage and I set the stage as new contact creation stage and select when to complete the stage. So when all steps have been marked completed, the stage is marked completed. When the specified requirements are met, the stage is marked completed. When the specified evaluation flow return to the stage is marked completed. So I'm going to check here when all steps have been marked completed, the stage is marked completed here. So at this point of time, I'm going to the first step that is called when all steps has been checked completed, this stage will be marked as completed. You can add a description if you want, and I can simply close this. It will auto save the stage. Now, this is the stage number one. In this stage, I just want to add a step here. So how do I add a step? Click on add step. And you can see when we click on add step, we have multiple options. Background step, which will run automatically in the backend. For example, if you want to generate some logs during the error, or if you want to if you want to perform some integration and run the logic in backend, so we can use this background step. Or there's an interactive step, means add a step that a person complete, and multi-soft step, add a step that called a mule. So that's a MuleSoft action. So in our case, we will be going with the second option because as per my requirement, whenever whenever a user check the checkbox while creating an account and click on say basically when we click on that and we create an account, it will it will open basically it will initiate or it will call the next flow which we have created in the previous step for creating a new contact. So I just click on interactive step and here we have to initiate the step. So I just create a step name as, let's say, new contact step and condition. When do we run this? When the stage start, the step start, that's fine. Select an action to run. So we have to search for a flow. As you can see, select an active screen flow. That's why I created a screen flow before this. So from here, I'm going to create a screen flow that is called new contact screen flow. So new contact screen flow, this one, new contact screen flow. And as you can see in this new contact screen flow, there is a resource we have created. That's an account ID. It's a variable. And as I've told you that this account ID will be going to pass from the orchestration flow to this screen flow. That's this account ID is coming up here. So we have to pass the account ID, and which account ID? The current account ID. So I click here and triggering account ID. So triggering account record ID, triggering account ID. I just passed. It's an include. And the most important part is select someone to complete the action. So now I just want you to assign this task to Adit to complete this. So basically in this case, I will be going to show you the involvement of two users. One user will be creating the account and then it will be instructed to the another user to create a contact related to that account. So in this case, I'm going to assign this to Adit. Adit. I'm going to assign this to Adit. Adit. So I select the user and the related record ID, select where to complete the action. So same, triggering account and record ID, account ID. That's all we have to do here. Select where to complete the action. That means enter the ID of the related record. That is a page layout with the flow orchestration work guide component on it, where the assignee complete their assigned work. So we'll be going to work on the account ID itself. So I just wanted to display this stage on the current account. So that's the step. This is what I implemented in a record orchestration flow. Let me save this. And for testing purpose, I'm going to activate this. So let me activate this. Now, before I proceed this, I just wanted to check few things. Number one, I quickly go and check the user, whether the user basically the Adit, that user, because that Adit profile is a recruiter profile. So I just want to check it out quickly whether this user will be able to access the flows or not. So I just click on edit and I'm just going to quickly check the settings. So the first setting I'm going to check here is whether this user will be able to create a new contact or not. So this user will be allowed to create a new contact. Yeah, so he can do this. And the next is I'm just going to check the flows. So as you can see, I'm just checking the flows. I just check this box, run flows. Yes, he can run the flow. He can check the flows. And that's all I have to do. All these settings and save this. And one more thing I need to see, I need to check, that is called flows part. Okay, fine. Now let's see how do we place this, how do we place, and one, okay, how do we place this record orchestration flow? So I'll just check back to account. Let me open an account record, any existing account, and edit this page because we will be going to place this record orchestration flow on the account page. So I just edit this page using Lightning App Builder. And then the way we used to place the flows, this time when we scroll down and we can see we have an flow orchestration work guide. So I just wanted to place this orchestration work guide on this flow, on this page itself. So what I'm going to do, from left side, I drag and drop this flow orchestration work guide and drop it here. So that's the flow, and which flow? That's the orchestration work guide. And hide work guide when empty. We can check this box just in case, title work guide sorting order. And that's fine. Orchestration work guide. Save this. Activation, if it is needed, we have to activate this. Don't forget to activate this because if you don't activate, it's not going to available for the user. So we always need to activate this. It's important. And I am going to activate it, assign as org default, both for desktop and phone, and save this. And back. So activation successful, and I back this. Now you can see that work guide is not available for the administrator. The reason why that work guide is not available for administrator, first of all, it's going to trigger whenever we create a new account. Number one, also we have said that orchestration work guide will be available only for Adit, not for Sumit. So therefore, it's not available here. And how about Adit instance? Let me refresh. Even if you open an existing account, it won't, that orchestration work guide will be available or not. Let's quickly check this. So I click here, all accounts, and we'll check an existing account. Berlin Textile Corporation of America. I'll open an account and you can see that work guide is not available here. So now let's do one thing. Let's quickly go and create a new account. Let's test it. Because as you can see, we have already set it up. It is going to run whenever we create a new account. So I'm going to create a new account here. I'll just click on new account. Let's say uh, Sumit, or let's say AI Tech 1 account, phone number, and don't forget to check this box, because if you don't check the box, it's not going to initiate that. So the checkbox was okay. So that checkbox is not available right now. So I have to refresh it once. So as you can see, I refreshed my project, I refreshed my application, and I'm getting this option now. And this is activated. Both of them will be activated. Now let's create an account again. So I'll give the account name as AI Tech 1 account, phone number, and the required details I'm going to fit. And the most important part will be this checkbox, create new contact. So when I click on create new contact, let's test it. I click on save. So you can see a new account has been created successfully. Now, as per the record orchestration flow, because we have already checked the checkbox, so then it should initiate the next step, that is for new contact step. But this step will be available only for Adit, the next the another user. So let's go and check it over there. So in order to check this, let me quickly switch back to Adit instance. So that's my Adit instance. This is the Adit instance, as you can see, the another user. And let's refresh. And you can see a new record has been added here. This is the same record which is added by Sumit in the previous step. I click on this. Now, when this user click on this account, he will be able to see a work guide. Now, this work guide is for new contact creation stage, new contact step, and he's getting an option to create first name and last name. If I'll show you back the my instance or Sumit instance as a Sumit, you can see this work guide is not available for me because we have assigned that work guide to a specific user. This is the way we can involve multiple users and multiple steps. And now let's finish it up. I just write here, let's say John Sinha, and click on save record button. So you can see the work process completed successfully and a new contact added here, name as Johnson, this one. And if you want to add more contacts, we can do it from here. But yes, initially this contact added here successfully. Let me quickly do it one more time for you. Just to let me show you one more time. Let's add another account. Let's say uh, Sumit account, for example. And I just check this box, save this, create new contact, create new account. I'll get back accounts and Sumit account. So this is the Adit instance. And when Adit open that account, he's getting a step to create this. And now he just mentioned the details. He just enter Peter Paul, the new contact. And when he click on save record, he'll get a message. The work item completed successfully. And when refreshed, then what happened? That account will be available here. So that's the way we can use a record orchestration flow in order to create a new contact related to an account. And the best part is we have assigned we create multiple stages, and the stages we assign to a specific user. That's how we work on record orchestration flow in Salesforce. So that's all in this video. If you like this, you can subscribe my channel. Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel. You can post your you can comment below. If you have any requirement on flows, if you want a customized training on flows or detailed training on flows, reach out to us. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.